Good morning. Good morning if it's morning for you. Good evening. Don't know where anybody's watching from. I'm going to do my warm up now, and then we're going to dive into doing. I'm going to make a new routine for the Gold Method app, and then I'm going to practice that routine today, and then I'm going to try to do that throughout the entire month of June. So I can hang out a little bit, and you can see what the app looks like. You can see what the effect of the app is. And we can have some conversations surrounding good practice habits, building healthy practice habits, seeking to spend the time necessary to do it and not rushing the process. I'm kind of open to any kind of questions anybody might have. I'm just trying to be here, trying to be available. And so hope you're all doing well this morning. Like I said, I'm going to keep warming up. I do a little bit of mouthpiece buzzing first. I'm just going to buzz these octave F sirens. Usually it's an F. Sometimes I get it wrong. And then I'll move on to the Chicowicz flow studies. If anyone wants to let me know if the volume levels are okay, that would be awesome as well. Part of my goal when I'm warming up right now, it's not always the same, but part of my goal is I've gotten brand new Yamaha horns that I'm testing out. I'm 100% sold on them, so I just am waiting to, go through the process of purchasing them, but I'm still trying to figure them out. It's definitely better than what my other instruments were, but things are still in a little bit different place, right? Some of the notes are in a different spot, and some of just the feel of it is a little bit different. So when I've been playing these instruments, I've been trying to figure out how to dial in what I'm thinking about so that I can just have more consistency. So that's a big thing I'm a believer in, is that the thing that's going to dictate our ability to play at a high level is just learning where to direct our focus, testing that in our practice sessions, and observing what the result is. So right now I am focused on, I'm going to turn this down. Right now when I'm playing, I'm focused on trying to hear the sound like sort of on the other end of the bell. A lot of times I'll I guess coach people on thinking as far away as possible, hundreds of feet away, and this is a good way to be able to hear your sound as in a more resonant or fuller. But for me, because I understand what sound I'm trying to create, I'm looking for a different space. So it's sort of like this is what I'm doing right now, and it might work for you, but you might also need something a little bit different if you're watching this and thinking about testing out. So I'm just thinking about the sound immediately being on the other end of the bell, and that I want to have my air be forward and very consistent. So I'll usually do 3 of these sets. I'll do the one up to the G, I'll do the one up to the C, and the one up to the high E. And that constitutes my warm-up most of the time. A warm-up is it's a thing a lot of people talk about, and everyone's got a different opinion on it. I'm of the opinion that the warm-up should last as long as it needs to, but not too long. And so it's going to be dictated by how you feel on any given day, I guess. So it's not necessarily I go through this 45-minute warm-up every single day, and then I'm ready to play. For me, my warm-up is usually between 10 and 15 minutes, and then I'm good to go. Now, would more playing sometimes help even things out even more? Sure. But sometimes you don't get 30, 45 minutes, an hour to feel great on the trumpet. Sometimes you just got to play the show. And so that's kind of why I've sort of moved towards 10, 15 minutes to feel great. And then, yeah, I will keep practicing. I'll keep working through things. But I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Like, what do we consider to be a warm-up? What do we consider to be practicing? I just want to get into what at least I consider to be practicing as soon as possible. Like I was saying, I'm actually going to... Sounds decent. So, yeah, let me know. Just checking how it sounds. So this is open-ended. I'm just going to keep playing. I'm going to keep doing my normal routine. Feel free to just watch, and I'll sort of vocalize what I'm thinking, what I'm trying to do, so you can kind of get a sense of what's going on in my head and how I make certain decisions. But if you have any questions, feel free to throw them down. I'm actually going to write that. Here we go. Hello from America. It's nice to have you here. Hope you enjoy the stream. Sometimes when it feels really good, I try to play a high C. Let's see what happens. All right. Okay, so scoot this back just slightly. Okay. All right. So I got to make my routine for the next month. So this is the Gold Method app. There's a link. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description for the Gold Method app if you want to check it out. My hope is that by using the app this month, you will be able to sort of figure out how to use it. I think it's an incredibly valuable thing for me. It's made it so my practice is just super streamlined and everything is easy to use. And I just sort of put everything in here and then I do what it tells me to do. I also understand how to practice deliberately, which is a part of this equation. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. But we're going to get started by going to the Fundamentals tab. And then, not sure what this is. What is this? Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this routine. We're going to call this June Fundamentals. Definitely want to archive the previous one. Okay, so this is based off of a program that I made previously. You can do this on the app. You can sort of take the time to make your very first one, and then you can just duplicate and slightly adjust previous exercises. So the first exercises we have are for our long tones or first attacks. I like these, so I'm just going to bump up the thing here. Oops, not weekly repetitions, but I'm going to bump this up. One day, basically, this will be one day I'm going to play my long tones at forte, and one day I'm going to play them at piano. And then I like these arpeggios, except for I'm going to play all of them every day. The last time I did it, I split them in half. Now I want a little bit more to do. And then we're also going to do tuner. Actually, we're going to play these normally at mezzo forte, and the difference is going to be playing it with a tuner or a drone. All right, so that's good for that skill. So now you can see we have our long tones with a tuner. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Our long tones with a drone, our arpeggios. And arpeggios are just going to be low F sharp to C. It's going to be a quarter note with 3 beats of rest. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me lots of opportunity to practice first attacks, setting up for first attacks and releasing sound in a manner that's solid. Okay, so now we have Bai Lin. So let's... Okay. So I'm going to pick ones that are difficult for me. Let's see, what do we want? All right, so we want page 16, number 14. So this is kind of the process of making a routine. You're just sort of looking around. What I'm looking for is one that's going to be challenging to me in a way that I care about learning. So learning how to manage these octave leaps is very valuable for me in playing my instrument on stage. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just trying to think, well, what's the craziest thing I can do, but what's something that I'm going to be able to practice and learn about that I can apply when I do my job. So we have about 82. So we want Bai Lin, what did I say? Page 16, number 14 at 82. And then no weekly or 3 weekly repetitions. So next we'll do page 21, number 19. Bai Lin, page 21, number 19. Yeah, let's do 80 for that one. And then we'll get a few that have okay, we'll do 30. Page 29, number 30. So this one I'm choosing because I've already got a few of them that are related to what I want to be able to do in the orchestra. Basically, like most slurs are fine. Octave slurs can be a little bit difficult, so I want to practice those octave slurs. This one is just literally, this is sort of like to push my own limits here. So 120 seems good, and then we'll scroll a little bit down. And then here we'll use page 32, number 32. As another challenge one. All right, so for flexibility, we have 2 that are valuable for me to try to figure out how to do, and just to have, I'm just showing up for, these are things that I find to be difficult in the repertoire. And then here's 2 things that I'm essentially challenging myself and pushing my own limits. Finger dexterity. We're going to change this up. All right, so we're going to go Clark 4 odds at 100. And then we're going to go Clark 4 evens at 100. And then let's do Clark 5 odds. We're going to go at, let's say, 128. 128. Clark 5. And we can always change the goal tempos here if we need to. Okay, articulation. So now I want to mess with some tap tones exercises. Oh, come on. Well, maybe I'll do some Sachse. So for articulation exercises, the goal is to develop, consistent and clear articulation. And I'm trying to keep everything forward, and I'm just saying these exercises, my whole entire goal is to just get it so I'm not missing that many notes, and that my articulations all feel like I'm just releasing the sound, and it's easy. That's my goal. All right, any time now, that would be great. There you go. So we're going to pull this down so you can see. All right, we're going back of the book here. There's a few of them that I like. We'll go Sachse 41. So Sachse 41 at 130 beats per minute. So weekly repetition 6 means I'm going to get some repetitions on this. So it's going to be a lot in the face depending on how many reps we have. I like that one, but I've already done it recently. Nope, that one goes too low. Yeah, let's do 55. Looks like about 114. So Sachse 55 at 114. 2 more. Where is it? There's one that I really like back here. Oh, Sachse 71 will be good. So Sachse 71 at 94. Sachse 71 at 94. As you can see, some of this is a bit arbitrary. I'm just picking ones that I really enjoy because it does not matter what you play at all. It doesn't matter what you play. It matters that you understand what you're trying to get out of it. Too many people think if I play Sachse, or if I play Arban, or if I play Goldman, if I just play it, everything is going to be okay. But that's not necessarily true. What will make it okay is if not only am I playing this to get better at articulation, but I understand what good articulation is, and I understand what the difference between mine is, and I'm going to record myself, and I'm going to listen back, and I'm going to hear, all of those things are going to matter. Here it is, number 73. Sachse 73 at 88. Hi from South Korea. Squirrel Trumpet. It's good to have you here. Hello. All right, so we're done with that. Articulation. Multiple tonguing. I'm going to keep all of these exercises the same. What's I doing with that Sachse etude? Huh. I'm going to keep all these the same and bump this up. Oh, I know what this was. So we want this to be like 130. We want this to be like 180. We want this to be let's say like 112. And we want this to be like 160. All right, I know what that is. This is the routine that I made for my YouTube video. And so we're not going to have an etude. I'm actually just going to anyway, we're just going to ignore that. Okay. So we have June fundamentals. So we did all of that work. It took us like 10 minutes, all right? We took 10 minutes to decide a whole bunch of stuff, and now we have literally my practice session for the next month. All of them are laid out here. So we have day one. So we're first going to start. We're going to set our metronome for 94 beats per minute, and we are going to hit start, and I'm going to get a tuner out. So let's see. Can I get a tuner that will work? Tuner Ninja. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, that's not it. Okay, I'm just going to have to use my phone. So we have a tuner. I'll put my phone right here. And then we'll go metronome. What was it at 94? All right. So we start with G and we go down. I don't think there's a way I can get this so you can see it. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. It's a little sharp. Is that a little sharp too? That was good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So that was pretty sharp there. So yeah, what I'm doing right now, I'll just stop this for a second. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to hear the sound in my head. I'm playing the note. I'm letting it settle and then looking at the metronome. I'm not just looking at the tuner. I'm not just looking at the tuner to be like, am I flat or am I sharp? But because I'm trying to hear the pitch first and then play it, what I'm doing is testing and learning, what do I hear this note sharp? Do I hear this note flat? What are my tendencies on how I hear this note? And then the tuner is going to give me an objective, I'm either sharp, I'm flat, or I'm on. And so I'm going to slowly, hopefully over the course of the month, learn some of my tendencies so that I can be more in tune sooner. So now I'm going to just go up as high as I can, hopefully from G sharp to double G. All right. That is enough of that. Okay. So I also forgot. I'm going to open up Logic here. When I first started doing this, when I first started recording, or I first started playing with these trumpets and all that kind of stuff, instead of playing with a tuner, I was recording every single repetition that I ever played. And then listening back to it, not every repetition, sorry, the first repetition of everything. Then listening back to it, I was mostly listening to the first attack and then the follow through. So we go arpeggios, 63 beats per minute. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do that on the Bai Lin, though. So I'll show you how I do that. The only reason I'm not recording this arpeggio is because the goal of it for me is to, I kind of know what it should feel like because I've done a fair amount of recording already in the past. So I'm going to set my metronome to 63, and we're going to do this exercise. So the previous exercise was 8 counts at about mezzo forte, maybe a little bit stronger than mezzo forte, and then 8 counts off. So 8 beats of playing a long tone, 8 counts off. That's getting the same amount of rest and the same amount of playing. This exercise will be 1 quarter note of playing, 3 quarter notes of rest, and I'm going to take the horn off in between. So again, you'll see me using this to practice my first attacks. The Bai Lin method is great. That's good you're practicing it. All right, so you can hear it's just trying to, I'm basically practicing my setup here. I'm just practicing, can I set up and release the same way every single time? The reason I value this is because to me, if somebody can, sorry, I lost my train of thought. If somebody can get the setup to be more the same, so you're releasing sound, you're releasing your air the same way each time, I think it drastically reduces inconsistency in playing overall. So we're basically saying if we start right, we'll play right, that kind of idea. And so I put a high premium on practicing getting everything to be right, or at least practicing it. And I know what right is. Right for me is keeping the air forward and then having a nice ping or pop at the front. I made a video on this about how I would coach this, so you can go check that out. It's got ping, sing, ring in the thumbnail on my YouTube channel. Okay, that was pretty good. We'll keep going. So one of them in there was not as good. It was still okay, but it was not as good as the rest. Hopefully you can see what's happening right now is I am trying to make this automatic. I'm trying to go from I have to think deeply to I can just tongue and the note will be there. This is taking a lot of effort, a lot of conscious effort. This didn't happen overnight for me, but I'm getting closer and closer to I'm just hearing that pitch and I know how to release. It used to be a little bit more complicated. I was sort of tracking each individual step, like what do I want the release to feel like, and where do I want to release, and how far away do I want to think, and am I in the center of the pitch, all these different types of things. But I've slowly over the course of time brought them into I'm able now to hear the sound and go. And so ultimately I think we should all be seeking to get to the place where the you're hearing the pitch you want and playing that pitch. But sometimes I really think that there are times where thinking about it from a place of form and function over sound but you have to know what that is. But form and function over sound for a short period of time to sort of establish some consistency with the way you're doing something, where you're because we can only really focus on one thing at a time. So you're saying I'm going to focus on this aspect of my form for a short period of time. As it becomes more habitual, I can shift my focus to something else, and you can shift your focus to something else while hopefully maintaining the consistency that you built previously. The notes E, F, G, A, and B are being hard to reach. For you or for me? Are you saying that on the computer or the stream it's hard to hear them, or you're struggling to hit these notes yourself? Obviously, this is very difficult for me to speak to without hearing you. But for a lot of people, if there's certain, I'm assuming this I'm assuming you're just saying like once it gets to a certain partial, it's harder to do. It could be any number of things, but my initial guess is it's just a function of that you're not energized enough. So you're used to like the low notes, you're sort of playing like, and then the upper notes you have to energize it, but you're not used to it. So I would breathe, try to keep it on the lips as you breathe, and then think about the air being very on every note, very fast on every note, or think very far away. Think that the note is starting very far away from you, and see if that helps. Those are the first two things I usually try for people. All right, one more. Okay, that's that. So next is going to be Bai Lin, page 16, number 14. So we get this out, page 16. What? Oh, it's right there. Okay. And then I'm going to record this. So let me. Oh my gosh, it's changed. We want. Where's window capture? Okay. All right, so we're going to record this. So start this, hit that, and then go like that. Look at that. Everything is good. Oh, except. There we are. Okay. Okay, so pretty good at that slow tempo. Not perfect. So we're going to add EQ, horns, trumpet EQ. And then we'll boost this by like 3 or 4. Oh, you can't hear that, can you? Oh, I wish you could hear that. Well, that's really annoying because recording yourself is a huge part of this. So I'm just going to, for the sake of doing it, record myself. So the next one is Bai Lin page. So this one's going to be very challenging. Hopefully I make a lot of mistakes here because page 29. Yeah. So record. So that was okay. I'm not actually too worried about it because this is day one, and oftentimes on day one, it's just not going to be great. And that's okay. Bai Lin, page 29, number 30, and that was at 78. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it being imperfect right now because one of the difficult things about practicing is being able to determine which things deserve your attention and which things will work themselves out with a good process. Now, I've done this gold method app process over and over and over and over. I've done it for the last 2 years, basically. And so I have a high level of trust that by the end, if I just keep trying, because I kind of understand what I want to put into it, mostly it's an issue where I have to learn how to aim and then teach my chops where that is. My air is consistent. That's not a problem for me. Things are staying forward. That's not the problem. The problem is just that they're wide leaps and I haven't learned exactly where to aim. But again, it's day one. So of course, how would that happen? So then what I'm trying to do is basically say, what if I know what to do and I just need to keep coming back to it and track the progress I do or don't make? And so that's what we're going to do. So the next thing, so we're just going to move on. Now we have Clark for odds. Yeah, I guess I'll record this just for posterity's sake. But Clark for odds. So we have Clark for odds at 65. Oops, I want to start there. And then I gotta pull up. Okay. That's 2. Here's 4. So odds. Here we go. I'm not gonna do the repeat. So this is definitely the slow tempo for the week. So this is where I want everything to be as perfect as possible. Of course, we want that all the time, no matter what. But I really want this to be where I'm saying to myself, okay, like I can imprint these really great habits. It's gonna be fine. Sorry, I lose my train of thought sometimes when I'm trying to. Basically, the slow repetitions are where we ingrain the proper habits. And so because this is slow, I'm really thinking making sure everything is smooth, that the air is forward, because that's what I want to have happen when the tempos get faster and it's more difficult. Did I do that right? Nope, of course not. Thank goodness there were 0 viewers to hear that mess up. Sorry if this isn't exciting for anyone, but this is what real practice looks like. What did I just do? Oh, come on. What in the world? What is going on here? I hit some sort of button. I only know how to use one function of... I don't want a preset. That seems to be as far as this book takes us. So, Pardonnez-moi, Clark, trumpet. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm thinking, who wants to watch this? But this is the reality of what it is to practice. You know, it's not glamorous. I'm playing my Clark studies at very, very slow tempos, right? It's because I value imprinting good quality habits. I'm not trying to, at this stage in my career, I'm not trying to prove anything to myself anymore. I just want to get better. All right, last one looks like C sharp. You know, like if you're somebody who struggles with, I guess we should stop that. If you're somebody who struggles with upper register work, you know, then something like slow Clark studies, I mean, there's all sorts of different approaches to it. But slow Clark studies like that could be really great because you can see how much time I'm spending up there. Okay. Clark 5 odd. Okay. This is going to be faster, though, so it'll be a little bit more interesting. Clark 5 at 109. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Clark 5 odd. Here we go. This one's not going to be as good. It's better than I thought it was going to go. Okay. Okay, this one goes higher. Well, I'll have to learn that one at some point. So again, I'm not worried about it because the point of this right now is not to be like, oh, Clark 5, like I can play Clark 5. Look at that. The goal of it is to have an opportunity to show up. Sachse 41 at 110. The goal is to show up and to have a chance to get to, basically the goal of the exercise is to create smoothness within my playing. So I want all the notes to be even. I want them to be all the same. So it's not necessarily just about learning Clark 5. Like, if the goal was to learn Clark 5, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to practice this a whole bunch. But the point is not for me to learn Clark 5. The point is to say, through the use of Clark 5, I'm going to continue to establish smoothness of playing. And over the course of time, I hope to also learn Clark 5. So in the immediate, right now, I want to be able to play the trumpet at a high level, which generally I feel like I'm doing. I'm happy with how I'm playing. But the fact that I don't know Clark 5 as well with the fingers is holding me back in this particular instance. So then over the course of the month, my goal is to learn Clark 5 and maintain these good habits that I've imprinted. So we'll move this to 110. We'll hit record. And then we want this, and it's Sachse 41. Is this the, I think this is the longer one. Okay, so how many times? One time. Okay, so let's see if I can get almost all of this in there. I'll move it down. So when I've done this in the past, I've played it up a fourth. So that's what I'm going to do here. Okay. So there's a few things I'm trying to do with this Sachse etude. I wish I could just play this back so you could hear it. But you can't hear it for whatever reason. Interesting. So, yeah, there's a few things I'm trying to do with these Sachse etudes. This is Sachse 71 at 70. The first thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to, again, have an opportunity to just try to say, how consistently can I play, how consistently can I, play with good articulation or whatever you want to say. That's the first thing I'm concerned about. The second thing I'm concerned about is a little bit of like, well, maybe I can play this really long etude and build in a tiny bit of strength and endurance into this process. And so in a few days, I'll have to play this 3 times through. You'll see me stop in the middle of the etude. I'm not necessarily doing this and slowing things down for the sake of building endurance and strength, but it's a nice byproduct if you kind of go at it slowly. And then the third thing I'm trying to do is basically just say, okay, here's a few little things. Obviously, there's a few things in there. I would have to go back and listen to the recording to really make sure that I got exactly the spots that I need to touch up. But just can I get those to be more perfect? I would say the general vast majority of that I was happy with. And so, you're just trying over the course of the month with this app is saying, I'm going to come back to this regularly. Can I get a little bit more perfect? And then let's say it's halfway through, you get to the point where you're like, I understand everything. I'm playing it perfectly. Then you have like 2 weeks on the app where you're just going to play this thing at a very high level and start to build confidence into your ability to play. If you're always struggling in a practice session, like we need to struggle, it's necessary. But if you're always just failing and playing things that are too hard or too fast, like how are you ever going to build confidence? So something to think about, I guess, if that's something you're struggling with. All right, Sachse 70. No, 71. Yeah, this is another good one. There we go. All right. So I have to play this one 2 times. Gosh, it's kind of hard to see. I have to play this one 2 times. So I'm going to do my best to make it all the way through the whole thing 1 time, sort of, again, to test that endurance capacity. And then the second time through is just to solidify. I could play this once, and if it's good, I'd say, okay, wonderful, that's great. But why not build upon good habits when you're sort of in this good space? Now, you can go overboard and say, well, I can play this thing really well. This is the only thing I'll play. Obviously, you can go too far with this. So I think there's somewhere in the middle where you'll be able to somewhere in the middle where you're going to be able to say, okay, I want to play a few different repetitions to continue to ingrain, either to learn because I haven't quite figured it out, but that's not me here. I've been playing these Sachse etudes forever. So I'm just using these because I enjoy playing them, and that's what I want to use this month to work it up. But on other things that I don't know as well, like Bitsch etudes, we'll get to those later. Those I use the repetitions to actually learn, and I'll do some other techniques while doing that. So here's the first time through this. Okay, wow. So definitely some spots in there to address. And I'm going to show you exactly how I would do that. So there's a couple of different ways that I address these issues. And again, normally, if it were you in your practice session, you just go back and listen to the recording. But I can't do that with you right now, so I'm going to do my best to remember. So I remember in this this diminished arpeggiated section, it was tough for me. And then, just trying to get all the right, it probably ultimately doesn't matter if I get all the right articulations, but for the sake of change, I could slur some stuff that's tongued, and musically it might not make a difference, or it might even be preferable. But for the sake of, trying to be as accurate as possible. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set the metronome, and I'm going to do a little bit of what I call mental rehearsal. This is a way that I sort of isolate things and get my imagination going without having to, get more face time on the chops. So I'm going to start right here, and we're just going to see if I can go through it, and if I have to slow it down even further, I will. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm fingering along. I'm making an embouchure, an air pattern, and I'm trying in my mind to sing the tune so that my air pattern is kind of following the tune. So, if you need to play, you can play, but that's an effective technique I've found to make sure that, because sometimes the instrument itself can take over, and what we want to make sure we're doing is that our imagination, the sound we're hearing in our head is guiding ultimately what we're doing. So now I'm going to put that whole thing back in context, and we're going to see if I can play it better. So that one part I practiced was better. Was it all a lot better? Not necessarily. But again, we have a whole month to figure it out, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, for me, one of the values of practicing this way is I can just I don't have to decide right now, is everything working? I can just do the best work I know how to do, and then in 2 days I'll come back and do that again, and in 2 days I'll come back and do that again. So I'm not trying to fix everything right now. I'm just trying to put in quality work. All right? So this is going to be Arban, page 56, number 6 at 98. So now we move on to the multiple tonguing part. Arban, page 156, number 6. Arban, page 156, number 6 at 98. So this is going to go by very quickly. You'll see what I'm talking about. And we are trying to, this is going to be something that will challenge the quickness of our multiple tonguing. Oh, and there goes my camera. Hold up. Gotta fix this real quick, obviously. Yeah, you can see how this does not look nearly as good as that other camera. All right, that looks about right. Okie dokie. So, that's still kind of slow-ish, you know? That tempo. It's still kind of slow, but that is okay. We almost want to enjoy the practice sessions when they're easier, because they will get more difficult. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Now, where are we? Fundamentals. So 3 times it's 73. So that should have been 2 times. I'll fix that in a second. 166, number 47. Arban, page 166, number 47. Oh, and then that. This is just to track all the different. Okay. So record, and then we're back here, and then it's 166, number 47. All right, this is going to be 3 times. Super simple. right now now we're challenging the coordination between our fingers and our tongue. This is all for this. So we go to save as. We call it June recordings. Another neat little trick I learned is you can go like this. Okay, so up to track, create track stack. We want a folder stack, and then we go week 1, day 1, June 1st. And look at that. Everything is super organized. But back to here. All right, one more time. And really trying to keep it smooth. All right, and then we're not going to do that A2 because we're going to practice a different A2. All right, so that was day 1. It took us a long time because I was talking, but it's still only been an hour and a half since I started warming up. So I talked that much. I got that amount of work done. It was productive work because I knew what I was trying to do and how I was trying to do it. I didn't waste a second of time because everything had a specific purpose. This is why I like the app. And this is why I made it available for other people. So Bitsch 18. Okay, so one more here is going to be Bitsch. Oh, that's cool. All right, so 59 and up by 3. So this is going to start here. This section starts there. I think it ends here. All right, that's what we're going to do today. So very, very slow. Nice and slow. When repetitions generally go, so like I kind of don't know what this is going to sound like going fast, so I'm just doing my very best here. At the end of the 2 weeks or whenever I get there, I'm going to restart it, but I'll know, with a little bit more. Right now I'm just trying to imprint good habits. Okay. No. Oops. All right, that's that section. So sometimes these sections are easy. Or sometimes I know them pretty well, and so they go by kind of quickly. All right, last little part here. The app is the gold. What? The app is the Gold Method app. Let me show you. So you would type in www.ryanbeachtrumpet.com. So this is my website, ryanbeachtrumpet.com. And if you click right here, you'll find this. And this will tell you a lot of what you need to know. And so I'm just trying to, the first month of it is free. So I'm just trying to share about the app, what it does, what it is. First month is free. It's $10 a month after that. All right. Hopefully that answers your question, Leonard. So I'm going to do a mental rehearsal here because these leaps are kind of messing with me. So. So that did get a little bit better as I went along. I just wasn't giving enough. Like I wasn't preparing well enough for that high B flat. So it always felt a little bit off. All right, so we move up to 64 and 1 through 7. So just the beginning of this etude. Here we go. I see it on this horn is flat. So up by 3. Yeah, the high C on this horn is flat, so I got to play it first valve, and I'm not used to that. For anyone who's interested, I'm also double tonguing all of this. 67 beats per minute. Pretty good. As always, if there's any questions about what I'm doing here, why I'm doing it, what's going on, you just want to say, hey, you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Maybe hard to hear or maybe not, but musically I'm thinking bum don din don din din don 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 din don din dum bum bum bim bum bim bum 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 bim bum bim bum bum bim bum beep ba 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 beep ba beep ba ba. So as much as possible, instead of thinking da da dee da 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 da, I'm thinking dun dun din dun din dun din dun din dun din dun dim. That the notes are not coming from the downbeat, but they're going to the next downbeat as much as possible. All right, that should have been 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. All right, so the final section we're going to practice is from here to the key change. This one's a little bit tougher, so with this in there, just getting the tongue to get around that, so I'm going to mentally rehearse this first. It's pretty good. Yeah, got a little off to the metronome. In a sense, I'm fine if I'm rushing slightly because this will go a lot faster eventually. Good. So for the A that I missed, this one right here, my plan is to just be a little bit more active coming up here. So what that'll end up being is the corners, keeping the corners nice and firm, and just making sure that the air is still on the front of near my lips, and that it's not getting back and caught up in the articulation. So this time I'll do exactly the same thing on that note, but really try to nail the A, because it still didn't, I mean, it was better, but it still didn't quite land. All right, and that's that. So I did some good work. Happy with that work. I made some observations that I'm going to try to recall the next time. If you are someone who struggles to recall certain observations you have made, it would probably behoove you to get a journal. And instead of writing down, I mean, you could write things down like today felt good, today was interesting, today was this, today was that. But it would probably be the most beneficial if you wrote things down like, I tried this thing to solve this problem and it worked. So then you're starting to like write down all these things that will help you in the future if you run into any particular problems or issues. All right, so I've actually been practicing 2 of these at the same time because I'm tired of this Bitsch project and I'm ready to be done with it. So this will start... and usually I would record these 2, but I know this one pretty well. We're going to pick up right here, and we're going to go to right there. So I botched that A flat pretty hard. It's just sort of learning where to aim, you know? That was better. I aimed in the right spot. Now, the thing is sometimes it could be like, oh, I got lucky. But the way I think is I found the solution. As long as I think that thing or aim in the same spot, I should always have the same outcome. Now my practice is not, I found a solution that I think works. My practice becomes continually implementing it to see if that's actually the solution. And then if it is, then I don't ever have to think about that ever again. I just have to think the thing that works. All right. So at this stage in my playing, it's like when I make a mistake like I did, I used to be like, oh, I can't believe I made that mistake. And now I think, awesome, I made another mistake, so I can find a solution for that part, and then I never have to think or worry about that again. So like trying to shift our mindset from I've made this mistake. It's evidence that I'm terrible too. I've made this mistake. It's now an opportunity for me to find a permanent solution for that problem. All right. So the solution to that problem was something that I was already aware of. I just wasn't very vigilant, which was to just stay up there, keep the energy high. I sort of dropped, and that's why I missed that one G. But yeah, that felt pretty good. And so I'm slowly, over the course of my practice sessions become, I am trying to imprint this thing that I want. And I'm going to go through and find out where I'm right and where I'm wrong. And where I'm right, I just keep doing it because I want to build confidence. Where I'm wrong, I need to find a solution and then figure out how to fix it so now I'm right about it, and then imprint that thing. And then you're just doing that over the long term. All right, we're going to finish this etude out. So this is still pretty far under tempo. I'm at 40. That was 42 beats per minute, and as you can, well, you can't really see it for whatever reason. Oh, it's because I cut off the top of the thing. It's at 66 is the goal tempo, which is too fast. I don't want to go that fast. But that was a pretty good run. I'm going to mentally rehearse this right here because it's annoyingly hard. Yeah, it's just awkward with the fingerings and stuff. See? It's like there's no other measure in this entire thing that has those articulations in that order. I think that's it. at that end. I'm just not blowing through it. I need to blow through it. Yeah, like that, right? But slower. Now, if I just that's like that. That's the solution, right? I understand what it feels like to do it. I need to now see if that is the solution. And it was. I want to play the whole etude because I like this one. Sometimes I'll do that because I reached the end of the 3-day cycle. And so we're going to go a little faster and we're going to see where we're at. All right. Day one down. Thanks, everyone.